wide. 30, 20, 15. They will not catch him today. This week at Inside Bobcat Football, the Cats are back from Jonesboro, Arkansas. We've all the highlights of their battle against Arkansas State. And we've got a feature on the experienced receiving corps here at Texas State, plus a look at women's basketball for the Bobcats. All that and more coming up as Inside Bobcat Football starts right now.
For the second straight week, the Bobcats were on the road this past Saturday. The Cats traveled up to Jonesboro, Arkansas to take on back-to-back Sun Belt Conference champion, the Arkansas State Red Wolves. The Bobcats fell 38-21. Now, Coach Fran visits with us, and Coach, you're batting 1,000% on going through keys to the game. In the lead up to the game on Saturday, you said it would be a battle of the trenches, and Arkansas State, they were a physical, talented football team.
Yeah, they won both sides of the line of scrimmage, I thought, and that was probably the difference, and we knew that going in, and we knew they would be physical, and we weren't able to match it quite as well as we needed to win the game.
Things started off well for the Bobcats. Arkansas State, their initial drive, the defense comes up with a big fourth down stop, and the offense gets on the field and gets right to work. Tyler Jones hitting Terrence Franks from 41 yards out, wide open. Terrence Franks, talk about that play.
Well, kind of a bootleg, and we kind of flooded four receivers into the boundary, and Terrence was the third one of the four, and they didn't cover him at all, and Tyler made a good throw, and good protection by the offensive line in that instance. We pulled Charlie Tuttle. He did a good job on the outside backer picking things up, and good time to throw and a good throw.
Both offenses doing well early on. We're tied at 7 apiece, and on the Bobcats' next scoring drive, of the 9 plays, 8 were on the ground, including at midfield. You elect to go for it on 4th and 1. Rob Lowe picked up the first down to keep that drive going. Eventually, Terrence Franks would score. But let's go back, talk about that 4th and 1 decision early on in the game at midfield.
Well, I thought we'd picked up the first down on 3rd down. I didn't think we got a real good spot there. So I was confident we could get it on 4th down. Of course, their coach was confident too, and they didn't make it on 4th down one time. But so we went for it, and our line did a good job and good run by the backs, and we picked up the first down and extended that drive.
Last score of the first half for the Bobcats, and here are Tyler's numbers, by the way. David Mayo sets it up with his 4th interception of the year. Talk about the score that got the Bobcats to 21.
Well, that was a good play by David. We got some pressure on the quarterback and forced him into probably an ill-advised throw, and David made a nice catch of it, and I keep kidding him he's going to score someday on one of those. But he set us up in good field position, and the offense did the rest. We had a good first half offensively. I mean, that's probably as good a half as we've had this year, 21 points and about 200 yards of offense, and did a nice job there with that. And, of course, the field position that the defense put us in place with the turnover and things was a big part of the success.
It was, Coach. All right, you go into the locker room tied 21-all at Liberty Bank Stadium. Here are the first half highlights.
The Bobcats are in Jonesboro, Arkansas, looking for their 4th win in a row as they take on the 2-time reigning Sun Belt champion Arkansas State Red Wolves. It is Texas State's Blake McCulloch who comes up with a couple of big plays early. After his 4-yard tackle for loss, McCulloch comes through again in a 4th down stop as the Bobcats force a turnover on downs on the Red Wolves' first possession of the game, the Bobcats' 18th 4th down stop this season. That gives the Bobcats great starting field position on their first possession, and on the Cats' second offensive play of the game, freshman quarterback Tyler Jones hits a wide-open Terrence Franks for a 41-yard touchdown as Texas State takes a 7-0 lead. Arkansas State scores in its next drive to tie the game at 7. Brandon Smith, the Sun Belt Conference's leading kick returner, averaging nearly 33 yards a return this season, just about matches his average, taking this kick back 34 yards. 6 plays into the drive, Jones fools the defense again by rolling out to his left and throwing back to his right, connecting with tight end Ryan Carden for a 25-yard play to the A-State 20-yard line. 4 plays later, it's 1st and goal just inside the 5. Jones hands off to Franks, who scores his 2nd touchdown of the 1st quarter, matching his season total going into the game as the Cats pull back in front 14-7. To the 2nd quarter, score tied at 14. Red Wolves star receiver J.D. McKissick gets absolutely drilled by Justin Awuji. Take another look as McKissick somehow hangs on to the football with Awuji applying a perfectly legal and perfectly punishing hit for a loss of 2. Next play for Arkansas State, and quarterback Adam Kennedy feels the heat from the Bobcat pressure and throws the ill-advised pass right to David Mayo. In his first game back since October 19th, Mayo comes up with his 4th interception of the season as the Cats take over deep in A-State territory. Following the pick, the Bobcats give the ball to the 2nd leading rusher in the Sun Belt, Robert Lowe, who picks up 12 yards to set up 1st and goal. And 2 plays later, the Bobcats again go with some misdirection, and again it leads to a wide-open Ryan Carden, this time for a touchdown, his 2nd of the season. That gives the Bobcats a 21-14 lead, but the Red Wolves would answer on their next drive as we come to halftime in Jonesboro with the score: Texas State 21, Arkansas State 21.
Color match has complete.
Are you making it just any night? Or are you making it remember that night? Are you making it dinner after the game? Or are you making it a victory meal? Are you making it good enough? Or are you making it great with America's #1 choice, Pizza Hut? Now Pizza Hut offers that great pizza at a great price, the $10 any carryout deal. Any pizza, any size, any toppings, now just $10 when you carry out. We all have a choice. Get America's #1 pizza and make it great.
How do you show your Bobcat pride? Now you can show it off and keep your money here at Texas State, because whenever you buy at the University Bookstore at Texas State, that money stays here on campus. Apparel, books, gifts, and much more. Online or in the heart of Bobcat country, find it, get it, and keep it on campus. University Bookstore at Texas State, your bookstore.
Hey Bobcat fans, we need you at the game November 23rd against Western Kentucky. Come support this bowl-eligible Bobcat football team.
Unleash your battle cry for Texas State football versus Western Kentucky, Saturday, November 23rd at 6 p.m. Get your tickets online at txstatebobcats.com/tickets or call 512-245-2272.
Experience is always important for offensive success, and no position has more experience than the Bobcat wide receivers here at Texas State.
You know, when somebody lines up across from you, he's pretty much saying, I think I can take you. And we have the mentality that you can't take us. It doesn't matter who we line up against, we're going to win.
3-man rush, USA. Jones steps up, rolling right, throwing downfield. Pass is caught by Aisha. Inside the 30. Breaks a tackle, 25. Down to the Jaguar 22-yard line. What a play by Ben Aisha. On 37, back to throw. TJ going deep in the end zone. Smith turns, back left shoulder, makes the catch. Touchdown, Texas State.
We got a lot of, like you said, we have a lot of experience on our side. We also have a lot of talent in the young guys that we do have, and they're learning fast. They're learning really fast.
Isaiah and Andy primarily have really been the leaders of that group, being the most experienced of that group. Ben and also Brandon have also stepped up because of the amount of playing time that they've been able to get, game experience. And a lot of the younger guys, Japhus and some of the other guys who are a little younger, have really benefited from being in their presence and kind of being able to learn from them by watching them so much. But Isaiah and Andy are the main two that have been pretty steady and always kind of take a hold, not just of the receivers group, but also the offense at times when they really needed to be. And it's been a pleasant surprise as a coaching staff to see them do that.
Coach Johnson is a great coach. He adapts to any player, whatever your situation is, he adapts to you. He's kind of laid back coach, but at the same time, he lets you know what you need to do and how to get it done. And he has repercussions if you don't.
Paying attention to detail, you know, you got to get the right steps, and you got to cut at the right angles, and you got to be at the right yards. You know, if you have a comeback and it's 14-12, you got to be there so the quarterback knows where to throw the ball. Another thing that goes into route running is making your cuts. You know, you got to be able to cut at a high speed rather than slow down and make a cut. You got to be able to do it fast.
You got to know that whether you got to block a linebacker, a safety, a corner, that your block could be the difference between a touchdown or not. Coach Johnson definitely harps on us really hard about that. We go through a period every single practice where we just work on blocking techniques, hand placement, and everything. And I know myself, Isaiah, and all the other receivers, we want to get knockdowns. We go out there with the intention of having at least one knockdown a game.
That's the part I love most. After the catch, that's all your football skill. That's when all your hard work and all your determination comes in. Breaking tackles, making a guy miss, and that's what I pride myself after for football. And we have a saying: you get 5 yards for the team after the catch, and then the rest is on you. And that's one of the things I pride myself most on, not letting one guy tackle me, maybe even not letting two guys tackle me if they're secondary players. And you know, making the first one miss and just all that kind of stuff. And that's the fun in the game. That's just, you know, you putting your kind of unique spin on things.
Second half highlights coming up after the break.
Texas State is a place that encourages dreams and offers connections that make those dreams come true.
A place that engages minds and hearts. A place that puts my passion to work in ways to strengthen my community.
What I learned at Texas State helps me reach beyond the campus and make a difference in the real world.
Early on, it was just a game. Then it became your passion. You've sacrificed everything to arrive at this moment.
Where my dogs at? Where my dogs at? Yeah!
This is where it all comes together.
Oh yeah! He's got it! 20, 10, 5, touchdown!
And this is where it happens.
The second half opens with the Bobcats and Red Wolves tied at 21. Texas State has the ball first in the third quarter, and Tim Gay, who's been primarily used as a blocking back this season, takes his 7th carry of the year, 35 yards for the Bobcats' longest run of the game. However, the drive would stall in what would turn out to be a rough third quarter for the Bobcats, who were outscored 14-0 despite the defense's best effort. To the fourth quarter, and the Bobcat defense trying to keep the team in the game. DJ Yendry comes up with a sack of Adam Kennedy on third down as the Cats hold the Wolves to a field goal. Now down 38-21, Texas State's offense has some work to do, and on 3rd and 11, quarterback Tyler Jones is drilled as he hooks up with Andy Erickson on a 22-yard catch and run for the first down. Next play, and the Bobcats show some urgency at offense. They get another big chunk of yardage, 14 yards on the run from Chris Nuttall to put the Cats inside of A-State territory. Next play, and Jones, trying to keep the drive moving, hits his tight end Ryan Carden for a 10-yard completion as Carden finished the game with a career-high 3 catches for 42 yards and a score. However, it was Erickson who was the Bobcats' leading receiver on Saturday, 4 catches for 51 yards, his last one good for 14 yards to the A-State 16. The Bobcats were unable to score on the drive and were held off the scoreboard in the second half. Tyler Jones would finish with over 200 yards passing for the 3rd straight game, and Robert Lowe had 129 yards of total offense, but it wasn't enough to beat the Red Wolves, who denied the Cats their 7th win of the season. The final score from Liberty Bank Stadium: Arkansas State 38, Texas State 21.
I know going into the game, everybody knew J.D. McKissick for Arkansas State was really good in the pass game. Heck of a receiver, but also a tremendous punt returner as well. What was the plan on trying to contain him when it comes to the return game?
Well, defensively, we did a pretty good job on him. Just going back through that whole sequence of events, with the penalty really hurts the drive. We're 2nd and 1 at their 29, and now it puts us in an awkward down and distance. We're not able to convert. We trade punts, and of course, we're punting with the wind, but we don't get very good hang time, and so our coverage is limited, and McKissick does a good job and gets a nice punt return that sets them up with a very short field like we had gotten earlier, and they convert and make it 28-21, and we have a second punt that really wasn't that good a hang time either. So combination of all those events turned the 3rd quarter against us a little bit.
And now you look at the Bobcat defense, anybody, and I mean anybody, who's watched this football team this season knows what a big part the defense has been in the 6-4 record, and a tough night against really good running backs, great offensive line when it comes to tackling. What are you looking for the Bobcats to do this week on the defensive side of the ball to put that behind and put it in the rearview mirror?
Well, we're going to have to defend our gaps a little bit better. We're going to have to get off blocks better and not arm tackle, but shoulder tackle better. Things that we've done much better job at all year. Arkansas State deserves some credit for putting us in those positions, but we hurt ourselves defensively with some of those things that we haven't done that much this year. We missed more tackles in this game than any game this year, and just wasn't an example of how the defense is played.
Yeah, Coach, now certainly there were bright spots on Saturday, and I thought Ryan Carden was a bright spot for the offense. Everybody knows Chase Harper, the job that he did from the tight end position the past 2 years, Bradley Miller this season. Talk to Bobcat fans out there about how important a pass-catching tight end is to this offense.
Well, we use tight ends a lot in this offense in our formations, and so Brad and Ryan and David Lewis, a little limited with his hand right now, but those guys are a pivotal part of the throwing game, and Ryan made some nice catches and runs with the ball, and we exposed some areas in their defense that they left kind of uncovered, and those guys did a nice job of helping us take advantage of it.
All right, Coach. Well, you leave Jonesboro with a record of 6-4. Still a lot to play for here in 2013. We'll come back in a moment to talk about Western Kentucky next up for the Bobcats.
Hey Bobcat fans, we need you at the game November 23rd against Western Kentucky. Come support this bowl-eligible Bobcat football team.
Unleash your battle cry for Texas State football versus Western Kentucky, Saturday, November 23rd at 6 p.m. Get your tickets online at txstatebobcats.com/tickets or call 512-245-2272.
Tim Gay breaks a tackle down the sideline across midfield, inside the 30, 20, 15. They will not catch him today. Touchdown. Catch Inside Bobcat Football with Dennis Francione, Tuesday on the Time Warner Cable Sports Channel, and in Houston, Thursdays on the Comcast Sports Network. Second and goal from the pistol. Jones rolls out to his right, looking left, got a man wide open. It's Carden who walks in for the Bobcat touchdown.
Coach, has your message to your football team, that message of moving on to the next one, ever been more important than this weekend with Western Kentucky coming in for the home finale?
Well, if we sit and dwell any on the last one, we're going to lose this one. These guys are pretty good. They're good in all aspects of the game, and we're going to have to be on top of our game. It's good that we get to come home to play it, and I think our guys will be ready.
Offensively, Antonio Andrews for the Hilltoppers is third in the nation in rushing, but Western Kentucky also really good at throwing the football as well. What is the defense going to be tasked with?
Well, you know, it's a balanced offense. I mean, they can run and they can throw. They have a great tailback. They have a good offensive line. Their only deficiency offensively this year is they've turned the ball over more than anybody in the conference, and so we hopefully will be able to cause some of those kinds of things to happen. But from a standpoint of moving the football and putting points up, this is a top 30 in the nation offense that's coming in here.
It looks like the offense is going to have a challenge as well. Western Kentucky, they've held 4 of their last 7 opponents to 17 points or fewer. What's the plan of attack?
Well, they've got good speed on defense, very aggressive, outstanding linebackers, and up front. They do a good job defensively, so we're going to have to make sure that we execute our offense well and block and sustain our blocks and hit them with some plays when we get the opportunity to.
A lot going on this weekend, Coach. Western Kentucky, 6 p.m. kickoff, but it's also Tea Association weekend and Senior Day. A tremendous group of seniors will wear the Bobcat uniform for the final time this Saturday.
Yeah, I hope people come out and let those seniors know how much they appreciate them. This senior class has been through a lot when you consider 3 years ago they couldn't compete for anything other than the next game, and then go to the Western Athletic Conference, and now into the Sun Belt. They have really been the champion that has led this university through some interesting times, and to put this kind of year together to help lead them to getting bowl eligible and everything, I would like to think our fans would like to let all these guys know, hey, we appreciate everything you've accomplished here.
All right, Coach. This Saturday, 6 p.m. at Bobcat Stadium, the Bobcats 6-4 against the Western Kentucky Hilltoppers 6-4 as well. We'll see you there.
All right.
Up next to chat with Zinnery Antoine of the Bobcat women's basketball program.
Color match has complete.
How do you show your Bobcat pride? Now you can show it off and keep your money here at Texas State, because whenever you buy at the University Bookstore at Texas State, that money stays here on campus. Apparel, books, gifts, and much more. Online or in the heart of Bobcat country, find it, get it, and keep it on campus. University Bookstore at Texas State, your bookstore.
Back to throw. Here comes the pressure. Rolls out of it to his right. Looks downfield. Pass picked off. Inside the 25. Down to the 23-yard line for the 4th time this season. David Mayo with a pick, and the Castles starting in the red zone. It's year 1 of the Sun Belt Conference, but year 3 for women's head basketball coach Zenary Antoine here at Texas State.
Coach Sue and I worked quite a bit this summer reviewing what it was we've done in the past, some philosophies on the types of student athletes that we recruited offensively and how that plays into our overall defense. What you're going to find is it's our goal to be disruptive to the point that they're taking low percentage shots. Get them in positions where they're really uncomfortable, they're taking low percentage shots, and we now have the size and the athleticism to rebound. So rebounding out of that and being able to push the ball is going to be extremely important because, again, we like to score the basketball. We have kids that can score multiple ways. The addition this year is not only do we have rebounders, but these kids can score inside the paint. I'd look for our fans to understand that we're going to be able to get some production inside the paint as well on offensive boards, as well as just being able to feed the ball down low, which balances out the fact that we've lost Diamond Ford, who's a prolific scorer from outside. The energy amongst the young ladies has been a lot of fun to coach, to be honest with you. They bring a ton of excitement, they bring a ton of focus, and a little bit of a chip on their shoulder. I think with the coming of basketball season right around the corner, more questions are being asked to them, and I think a lot of the questions reflect back on the difficulties we had last year. And I think it's a bit of a slight to our kids, and they're carrying that with them. And I understand that. I can see both sides, but I tell them, nobody knows the hard work that you put in right now. Let's keep putting on the work in here right now on practice court, and it'll show up in games, and people have a better understanding of how you
feel. One of the biggest, hugest games here at Bobcat Stadium in recent memory on the horizon this Saturday, Western Kentucky in San Marcos. Brant Freeman, my broadcast partner on the Texas A Bobcat Radio Network, now joins us. Brant, before we talk about Western Kentucky and what's going on right now, let's look back. Arkansas State, really good football team that was ready to go on Saturday.
There were. There's a reason why they have won the last 2 Sun Belt Conference titles, and they're now 40-9 at home over the past 49 games. It's a tough place to play in Jonesboro, Arkansas. Some positives for the Bobcats. Tyler Jones, another 200-yard game passing. That's now 3 straight for him. Past 3 games, touchdown interception ratio of 6-1. And Robert Lowe, 86 yards rushing. He's now 155 yards shy, or 145 yards shy rather, of hitting the 1,000-yard mark. First Bobcat would do that in 5 years. So those are the positives from the game, but you have to tip your cap to the Red Wolves with their performance this past Saturday, especially Michael Gordon, the way that he ran the football. 19 carries for about almost 9 yards a carry. He was very impressive, very concerning going into this Saturday against Antonio Andrews in Western Kentucky.
Yeah, that's a great segue. Antonio Andrews comes into the game 3rd in the nation in rushing. Look at his numbers, over 1,400 yards on the ground, has 12 rushing TDs. This is a guy who a year ago had over 3,000 all-purpose yards, the second most all-time behind Barry Sanders, a very talented football player. But Bobby Petrino's Hilltoppers, you look at what they've done recently. They come in with a record of 6-4, but they've won their last 2 games, 5 of their last 7, and be on alert, the Hilltoppers have won their last 3 road games as well. So they're playing really well right now. And as far as their team numbers go, they're 3rd in the Sun Belt Conference in both scoring defense and scoring offense. They do a nice job of shutting down opponents defensively, where you look at the numbers, they've held opponents to the 2nd fewest total yards offensively, and then their offense itself is 3rd in the league in total offense. So it's a quality, well-rounded football team. And we all know with the Bobcats, with a 6-4 record, this game takes special significance.
It does, because you look now at the bowl scenario. We could talk about the B word, by the way, now, with 2 games left to play. There are 72 spots available. That includes the BCS National Championship game. Currently, there are 65 teams that are bowl eligible, only 7 available spots. The Bobcats do have one of them, as does Western Kentucky. However, there are 22 teams still alive for the remaining 7 spots, 10 of them with 5 wins, 12 of them with 4 wins. So that means that likely that number will climb past 72. Can the Bobcats avoid the cut and be one of those teams to make a bowl this season? A win this Saturday would go a long way over Western Kentucky, which also, again, has 6 wins this season. So, Senior Day, T Association, final home game of the season, and a chance for a very important 7th win of the year. We need you at Bobcat Stadium this Saturday as the Bobcats take on Western Kentucky. More so than ever, we need you to unleash that battle cry this weekend against the Toppers. For everybody in Inside Bobcat Football, I'm Brant Freeman, and we'll see you next time.